Hello and welcome, fellow digital soldiers, to True Reporting. It is the 14th of May, and on today's podcast, we will be covering two articles covering FBI uncovers terror training camp in Alabama. Also, from that very same camp, we see a report that says FBI finds child remains obstacle course at suspected jihad camp in Alabama. This was a huge article that came out a couple days ago. If you aren't aware of it, you'll find out today. But before we get into it, would you please welcome my new sponsor, Noble Gold. Hi friends, we all know that Memorial Day is just around the corner. And what better way to celebrate by giving someone you love something very special? Noble Gold has teamed up with True Reporting to bring you the Trump 2020 coin and a 10-ounce silver bullion bar. You can go to Trump2020.com and type in True Reporting for a $30 off discount. This pairing of the coin and the bullion bar is worth $239, and you can get a huge discount on it. So remember, Trump2020.com and type in True Reporting for the discount. Thank you. All right, guys, it's good to have you aboard. Let's go ahead and hop into it. This is True Reporting. So we see here the FBI uncovers terror training camp in Alabama. This is from May 12th, so about 2 days ago. And we all remember the Tucson, Arizona terror training camp. It was had a lot to do with the Cemex Concrete Company. If we all remember that, a lot of child sex trafficking up through Mexico into Arizona. A big deal back in December. But moving forward, FBI investigators have found a training compound in Alabama linked to a group of suspected homegrown terrorists. An FBI search warrant described the property in Macon County, Alabama as a makeshift military-style obstacle course, according to a report by Sinclair Broadcast Group. Identified in reports as a homegrown Islamic terror compound, it allegedly belongs to a group led by 40-year-old Siraj Waha, an imam indicted on federal charges related to firearm violations and terrorism. Let's go ahead and see what this training camp was all about, shall we?
At first glance, it looks like an abandoned dump. But this plot of land in Macon County, Alabama is described in an FBI search warrant as a makeshift military-style obstacle course belonging to a small group of terrorists led by Siraj Wahaj, who own the property. Up a long dirt road, but just a few miles from downtown Tuskegee, Alabama.
Just because you're in a small town or a small state does not mean you might not potentially have individuals engaged in the types of activities that would call into question threats to national security.
The property, similar to another compound in New Mexico, the group is now linked to, where federal prosecutors say Wahaj and these other 4 suspects were training children to carry out deadly terror attacks on American soil.
So yeah, guys, a lot of bad guys down there in Tuskegee, Alabama. Wahaj and 4 other suspects, Janie Laville, 36, Haraj Wajaj, 38, Sabana Wahaj, 36, and Lucas Morton, 41, face a range of firearms and terrorism-related charges. Amid accusations, they conspired to support planned attacks on the U.S. law enforcement officers and other government employees. Federal prosecutors commented in March about the charges against Wahaj and others in a new indictment that brought fresh terror-related allegations. The superseding indictment alleges a conspiracy to stage deadly attacks on American soil. U.S. Attorney John Anderson said in a written statement, "These allegations remind us of the dangers of terrorism that continue to confront our nation." Charging documents allege Wahaj and others were conducting weapons training with assault rifles at a ramshackle compound in New Mexico, where children were being trained to commit school shootings. Oh my God. He poses a great danger to children found on the property, as well as a threat to the community as a whole due to the presence of firearms at his intent to use these firearms in a violent and illegal manner. Prosecutor Timothy Hazen wrote in court documents. The New Mexico compound, located on the outskirts of Amelia, a tiny town near the Colorado border, is reportedly similar to the one FBI agents found in Alabama. In an interview with Sinclair, former FBI agent Tim Furman warned of the increasing threat of domestic terror that exists in every region of the United States and affects all walks of life. Just because you're in a small town or a small state does not mean you might not potentially have individuals engaged in types of activities that would call into question threats to national security, Furman told the outlet. So what does this tell me, everybody? This tells me that there is a potential that there are more training camps throughout the entire United States. We could think about Minneapolis, Minnesota. Remember, there's a ton of Somalian training camps up that way. The whole Mall of America is covered. It's a very dangerous place, and we need to put our foot down and stop this because it's going to get out of hand before we know it. Moving forward, report finds from Breitbart that child remains at the obstacle course at suspected jihad camp in Alabama. The FBI reportedly discovered a makeshift military-style obstacle course and the remains of a child on a plot of land in Alabama that Sinclair Media described this weekend as an abandoned dump owned by Wahaj, who was arrested for establishing a similar site in New Mexico. Law enforcement agents arrested Wahaj's two sisters and several others in August after searching the New Mexico compound, where they found 3-year-old Abdul Ghani Wahaj dead and evidence of a plot to stage jihadist attacks in the area. In March, authorities charged Wahaj, believed to own the compound, sisters Hurrah and Subana, Janie LaVille, and Lucas Morton with conspiracy to provide material support for terrorist attacks. A judge dropped the charges against some in the group in the case of the younger Wahaj's death for child abuse in August. God, these judicial courts have got to get better. Authorities believe the adults in the New Mexico compound were training children to commit terrorist attacks and try to exorcise a severe neurological condition requiring advanced medical treatment. That was a problem that Wahaj had. Very strange, right? He had to exercise it. Wahaj and his two sisters are the children of prominent Brooklyn imam Siraj Wahaj. Authorities believe 9 of the 11 children found in the New Mexico compound are the imam's grandchildren. Sinclair Media revealed Friday that Wahaj owned a property near Tuskegee, Alabama, found to contain what an FBI search warrant described as a makeshift military-style obstacle course and a dead child, believed to belong to Wahaj, prompting a child kidnapping charge following the dismissal of the child abuse charges in the New Mexico case, rather. Police reportedly believe the terrorist training camp was designed for children's use, not the adults in the compound. Wow. Local news stations WPMI visited the compound in early May, broadcasting footage of the scene that showed gas masks, children's toys, and makeshift shacks built and tossed around the area. Before Sinclair's report this weekend, police had apparently not yet revealed discovering child remains at the site. But the FBI search warrant provided significant detail on the area, describing it as surrounded with hundreds of vehicle tires, assorted trash, and added that both structures have wooden pallets with clear plastic tarps draped over them. The WMPI team reported. Neighbors tell us that they saw agents in white forensic suits walking the property last year, and while we saw lots of tires there, they were not stacked up acting as a wall, as we saw with their compound in New Mexico. It's unclear if the FBI had dismantled a tire wall to search the property. We also did not see any evidence of a target practice, as was discovered in New Mexico. But again, we were there after the FBI conducted its search. We did see evidence of small children that were living at the Alabama compound. There were lots of old toys, dolls, and a girl's bike. There was furniture inside the makeshift structure, a dresser, a dining table, all piled up. Outside, there were mattresses stacked up against it, and we noted a minivan with Georgia tags on site. We know from an accident report there were at least 9 people, 7 of them children, with Wahaj at the Alabama compound. The group was reportedly trying to use solar power to create a home that did not rely on electricity from the federal power grid, making it easier to find. NBC 15 reported that this month, in the process of investigating the Alabama compound, police found that they had stopped Wahaj and his late son in Alabama 3 days after the child's mother reported him missing in Georgia, and 8 months before the raid on the New Mexico compound. Wahaj has reportedly told police he was going to New Mexico for a camping trip with his son. Police found 5 guns, a bulletproof vest, and several other items in the car, but let Wahaj go, according to a report of the incident. Well done, you dirty cops. I guarantee they were dirty. Paid off. The legal drama in New Mexico unfolded in August as the 5 suspects demanded the government drop charges against them for terrorism and child abuse. Authorities revealed at the time that Janie LaVille described herself as Wahaj's Muslim wife, while Lucas Morton was identified as the husband of sister Savannah Wahaj. LaVille is not the mother of Abdul Wahaj. Ghani, identified as Georgia resident Hakima Ramzi. Prosecutors accused the group of suffering from dangerous delusions and planning to attack a hospital in Georgia because they considered it corrupt. They also claimed the group trained children in firearms used to prepare them to attack schools. In August, a New Mexico judge dismissed child abuse charges against Sabana Wahaj, Haraj Wahaj, and Lucas Morton because prosecutors failed to follow procedure and bring them to a preliminary hearing within 10 days. That is such garbage. Sarah Hawaj and Janie LaVille still face those charges. Imam Wahaj denied any links to the group in August, claiming that his children disengaged from him and that once alerted to the state of their compound, alerted police and helped them find it. To me, there's something obviously happening. Some mental disorder to me. This doesn't seem like them, he said at the time. The elder Wahaj was an unindicted co-conspirator in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing and served as a character witness in the case of the blind sheikh, Omar Abdul Rahman, believed to have plotted the attack. So guys, again, if you see anything, say something, please, because this is basically, this was a foiled attack. You know, they stopped something from happening. Let's pray that they get what they deserve and they're not released on bail or just released back into the public and all the charges are dropped. Let's just make sure of that, please. My friends, if you found this informative and you enjoyed it, please subscribe to my channel. You can follow me on Twitter @TrueReporting, and don't forget to leave a like. You can donate to this channel by going to my PayPal or Patreon in the description box below. And my friends, please take care of one another and love one another. I will also tell you that my channel has been demonetized due to a strike from YouTube censorship. I am fighting back on that, as well as a couple others who are helping my hand. With that being said, my friends, please keep me in your prayers, and we will keep persevering. Have a wonderful evening. Bye-bye.